Today our topic is adsorption theory of heterogeneous catalysis. What is actually heterogeneous catalysis? Heterogeneous catalysis is a type of catalysis in which the reactants, the products, and the catalyst are in different phases. So if we put an example here, the formation of ammonia, here hydrogen and nitrogen are reactants, ammonia is a product, and iron is a catalyst. So all these three, that means product, reactants, and iron, they are in different phases. Iron is in solid phase, ammonia and nitrogen and hydrogen are in gaseous phases. So what this adsorption theory tells us about this catalysis? It actually explains the mechanism of this catalysis. And it explains the mechanism of this heterogeneous catalysis. That means how this heterogeneous catalysis takes place. So as per the old adsorption theory, actually we have two theories, old adsorption theory. As per this theory, the reactants in gaseous state or in solution are adsorbed on the surface of the solid catalyst. The increase in the concentration of the reactants on the surface of the catalyst increases the rate of the reaction. For example, I say, so this is a solid catalyst, for example. Reactant is adsorbed हो गए, gas reactants are in solution, they get adsorbed on this surface. उनकी concentration increase होती है on the surface of the solid catalyst. When concentration increases, that means rate increases, because we know that rate of the reaction depends upon the concentration. That means when concentration increases, the rate of the reaction increases. जो adsorption है, it is an exothermic process. That means heat is evolved. This heat of adsorption is utilized in enhancing the rate of the reaction. जो यहाँ पर ये heat भी evolve होती है, heat of adsorption, ये भी यहाँ पर utilize होती है in enhancing the rate of the reaction. क्योंकि adsorption यहाँ पर होती है solid catalyst पे adsorption होती है. Because of that, वहाँ पर जो heat बाहर आती है, heat of adsorption की सूरत में, that heat is also utilized, that energy is also utilized in enhancing the rate of the reaction. जो ये modern adsorption theory है, it is a combination of two theories, old adsorption theory and intermediate formation theory. Intermediate formation theory के मुताबिक actually reactants do not get converted directly into product. First they pass through an intermediate, एक बीच वाला complex बनता है, having high energy. So this modern adsorption theory is a combination of these two theories. Old adsorption theory, which tells about adsorption of the reactants on the surface of the solid catalyst, and modern adsorption theory, this intermediate complex theory or intermediate formation theory, which tells about the formation of the intermediate between the reactants, between the reactants. That means in between the reactants and the products. That means the reactants first get converted into intermediate, then they form the product. Then the intermediate breaks and gives us the product, and the catalyst is regenerated as per this theory. Now, as per this adsorption theory of heterogeneous catalysis, the mechanism involves the following steps. The mechanism involves, जो mechanism है यहाँ पर, it involves the following steps which we are going to discuss here. The first step is diffusion of the reactants to the surface of the solid catalyst. In a diffusion of the reactants to the surface of the catalyst. This is the first step, to the surface of the solid catalyst. If A and B are reactants, for example, A and B, he is a reactant. So this is a catalyst. ये कैटलिस्ट सरफेस है जो मैंने यहाँ पर दिखाया है, ये कैटलिस्ट सरफेस है, A and B are reactants. Actually, they get diffused on the surface of the diffuse. They move towards the surface of the catalyst, surface of the solid catalyst, and get diffused. वो वहाँ पर diffuse हो जाते हैं, यानी इस पे वो फैल जाते हैं इस surface of the catalyst पे। यहाँ पर हमने दिखाया है इस arrow से, यहाँ पर अगर आपको दिखता है यहाँ पर ये A इसकी तरफ मूव करता है, B करता है इसकी तरफ मूव, ये diffuse होते हैं on the surface of the solid catalyst. So this was step 1. So what is the first step? That is diffusion of the reactants to the surface of the solid catalyst. What is step 2? Now step 2 is adsorption of the reactant. Adsorption. दूसरा step जो है, that is adsorption. Adsorption of the reactants. Adsorption of reactant molecules on the surface of the catalyst. यहाँ पर adsorption होती है, that means they get adsorbed. These reactants after diffusion they get adsorbed on the surface of the this adsorbent. This step B, A इसके साथ adsorb हो गया, B हो गया adsorb on the surface of the adsorbent. A and B are here reactants and this is the surface. So इस पे adsorb हो गई. So what is the second step? Adsorption of the reactants. Adsorption of the reactant molecules on the surface of the solid adsorbent. What is the third step? Third step is step number 3. Reaction takes place. Reaction in occurrence of reaction between reactants and the solid adsorbent. जो यहाँ पर solid catalyst है, solid catalyst जो है यहाँ पर reaction होती है between, chemical reaction takes place between catalyst surface and the reactants through the formation of an intermediate. यहाँ पर होती है occur, इस step में occur reaction, chemical reaction between reactants and the solid catalyst, resulting in the formation of an intermediate. यहाँ पर एक बीच वाला काम पड़ता है intermediate. An intermediate gets formed between reactants and the solid catalyst, and the solid in the surface of the solid catalyst. So this was step 3. So what is the first step? We repeat: diffusion of the reactants to the surface of the solid catalyst. What is the second? Adsorption of the reactants takes place on the surface of the solid catalyst. What is the third? Occurrence of reaction between reactants and the solid catalyst surface, which results in the formation of an intermediate complex. वहाँ पर एक intermediate complex बनता है between solid catalyst and the reactants. So now fourth step. What is the fourth step of the mechanism? यानी चौथ step में क्या होता है? Diffusion. This is actually a desorption of the reaction products. Desorption of the reaction product from the catalyst surface. From the catalyst surface. यानी catalyst surface से disarm होते हैं ये. Actually desorption takes place. Desorption यानी उससे वो उठते हैं, यानी सरफेस ऑफ कैटलिस्ट खाली हो जाती है, यानी उससे वो जो प्रोडक्ट है, रिएक्शन प्रोडक्ट, वो वहाँ से डिसॉल्व होते हैं फ्रॉम द डिसॉल्व रिएक्शन प्रोडक्ट टेक्स प्लेस फ्रॉम द कैटलिस्ट सरफेस, देयरबाय मेकिंग द सरफेस अवेलेबल. उससे क्या होता है? सरफेस फिर अवेलेबल होती है फॉर फर्दर रिएक्शन टू ऑकर. सो दिस वाज स्टेप नंबर 4. And the step number 5 and the last is actually diffusion of reactants and products away from the catalyst surface. Diffusion हो जाता है फिर. Diffusion of the reaction products from the catalyst surface. So यहाँ पर आप diffusion यानी catalyst surface से ये बिल्कुल दूर बातें move ये away, they diffuse away from the catalyst surface. Catalyst surface से दूर भागते हैं ये reaction products. यहाँ पर A and B is a product here. सो यहाँ पर कैटलिस्ट सरफेस खाली हो गई क्योंकि ये डिफ्यूज हो गई कैटलिस्ट सरफेस से. सो दिस वाज अबाउट द adsorption theory of heterogeneous catalysis. How this catalysis takes place, what is the mechanism? So we have discussed the mechanism in 5 steps. The first step is diffusion of the reactants to the surface of the solid catalyst. Second is adsorption of the reactants on the surface of the catalyst. Third is in a reaction takes place between, that means occurs a reaction between reactants and the solid catalyst surface, which results in the formation of an intermediate complex. The fourth step is desorption takes place. Desorption of the reaction products takes place from the surface of the solid catalyst. And the fifth is diffusion of the reaction products from the solid catalyst surface. This theory explains why the catalyst remains unchanged. इस थ्योरी से एक्सप्लेन ये भी होता है कि ये जो कैटलिस्ट है वाई दैट रिमेन्स अनचेंज्ड इन टर्म्स ऑफ मास एंड केमिकल कंपोजिशन है, उसमें कोई चेंज नहीं आता. उसका मास चेंज होता है कैटलिस्ट का, न उसकी केमिकल कंपोजिशन चेंज होती है एट द एंड ऑफ द रिएक्शन, एंड इज इफेक्टिव इन इवन इन स्मॉल क्वांटिटीज. वो ये भी एक्सप्लेन करते हैं कि जो कैटलिस्ट ये क्यों इफेक्ट होता है इन स्मॉल क्वांटिटीज, this solid catalyst. So this theory explains also these things. That means it explains why the solid catalyst remains unchanged in mass and chemical composition at the end of the reaction, and is effective in even in small quantities. So this was about the adsorption theory of heterogeneous catalysis.